Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Good. How are
Okay,
you?
you're live, my friend. You're live. Uh,
Sweet.
I hate.
You want me to read the disclaimer, or
No,
you want
you
to read
you
it?
can read the disclaimer. I just thought I'd take a moment to introduce you. No man should have to introduce himself in a live event,
All
and
right.
I
Go right
stand by
ahead,
that.
Greg.
So yeah, this is our very own Dave Derricott. Dave has been with the company, I think, a couple months longer than me, if I recall, which puts you at 19 years or 18 years, Dave.
19. Yeah.
19 years. 19
19 for
years.
MetaStock 19.
All that's right, and all those during all that time, Dave has been in the top tier or at the top of our sales team, and does a
Yeah.
fantastic job. And that's not because he's oily and slick; it's because he's genuine and knows what he's talking about, and people like him, right, Dave?
Yep. That's
All
exactly
right,
what it is.
all right. Today, see, I don't know much more else about Dave other than he's a swell guy, and we've been friends for like 18 years. But you know, I don't want to get too much into the
Mushy
bushes
details.
with Dave. I'm just saying he's a good guy, right? All right. No, I know you're going to enjoy him. He's very professional, and he definitely knows a lot about MetaStock. So question him up. Load up now to ask all the questions you can. And Dave, I will get out of your way. And yes, please to remember to read the disclosure. Good luck, sir.
I will.
Or I should say break a leg.
All right. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for a new version of MetaStock 19, which is what we are going to be talking about. Like Greg said during the presentation, if you have any questions, go ahead and type those into our YouTube or go to webinar, whichever place you're watching this. First off, we got to read the demonstration, as our my manager always tells me that we got to keep our lawyers happy. So let me just go ahead and read this and get started. This demonstration is designed to instruct you on MetaStock and accompanying software plugins. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using the specific indicators features within the software. Information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risks inherent in trading. MetaStock and its employees shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. MetaStock and its employees do not endorse the purchase of any security, nor is it paid for promotion of any security. No information contained in this presentation should be construed as investment advice or a solicitation to buy any security. The one below is just the CFTC rule, which is regarding the risk and of options, or sorry, standardized options. I don't need to go through and read that verbiage on top of what I already read, but basically we all have a risk when we trade, no matter what market. I just wanted to throw out my contact information, maybe for those that are watching the recording afterwards, or obviously the live sessions where we like to see people. But in the case that you need to contact me afterwards, I will put this slide up afterwards as well. I just want to make sure I spelled everything correctly because I just put this in. Yeah. So for US and Canada, you can call that 800 number. For anybody outside of there, call the 801 number, and I will be more than happy answering questions and get you started with MetaStock 19 if you haven't already upgraded. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right in. I've got a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and just introduce our newest version of MetaStock 19. We released this about 10 days ago, actually a little over that. It's been a great addition, or a great upgrade. We've had some phenomenal feedback from our customers, our partners all over the world. I personally have had a lot of my customers that have told me how phenomenal this is. A real game changer is what one of my customers used for MetaStock because of our new and improved charting workflows. I'm going to go through how that has changed. Lots of requests, taking all the customer feedback, and now we've put this into, well, we always try and take all of our customer feedback and put it into the newest versions and versions we're working on. So if anytime that brings up a really good point, if you have a suggestion for us or something you want to see in the software, go ahead and send us an email. It actually goes directly to our development manager. Just send it to suggestions@metastock.com. We'll see if it's something we can put into the software, and we'll make sure to get that into the next version if it is something that's possible. But definitely don't be shy about sending those requests in to us because we take those very seriously. So moving on, talk about the improved layout workflows. I'll kind of give a brief overview, good overview of that. kind of the backstory there too. Theme support, container of the modern look and feel of our new charting container, charting styles and drawing tools, and we've added some new trading systems. This is just a very short list of what I'm going to cover today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to show a couple slides, but for the most part, I'm going to be inside of MetaStock. So I'm going to show the first slide. This is our new theme support where you can change, just like with websites, and also different, any websites, and the overlook of the Chrome browser, so on, is a good example of that. You can now change the dark theme and light themes depending which one you like more. I prefer the dark theme, just seems to be better with my eyes. With that being said, I'm actually just going to go right into MetaStock. I'm going to show. I actually need to close MetaStock really quick because I was logged in on another machine, but let me close out of the PowerPoint really quick and open up MetaStock again. Thought I had this open, but I had forgotten that I had logged in on my actual desk computer. So let me just get in and then we'll start. It loads up pretty quickly. Go ahead. What?
So while that's rebooting, are you monitoring the chat in YouTube, or did you want me to do that?
You do that.
Okay. So if you have any questions, anybody on the YouTube side, go ahead and chat about it, and I'll pass them on to Dave when it's a good time.
Yeah, I'll do the go-to side, and you do the YouTube. It'll be easier for me to manage everything.
You got it.
So far, I don't have anything. Nobody has said anything yet in that one. So
actually, over here, if you don't mind me mentioning, while you're still rebooting, somebody did ask about Steve Bigelow's passing and wondered if someone had been taking over the chat room. Yeah, we would like to mention that Jeffrey Gibby is now filling that role for Candlestick Forum, and he has a chat room twice a week. I don't know the details, but if you email Jeff Gibby at jeffrey.gibby@metastock.com, he can let you know all about that. Dave, you all set on that end? Or?
Yeah, I think I'm just waiting for it to pop up. I thought I had it. Yeah, so give me just a second. Yeah, and just further on that, we're working out the details of being able to take on that project, but we haven't worked out the details. But yeah, definitely just email Jeff, and he can help you with more information on that. I'm not at liberty to disclose any of that right now currently, but yeah. Like Greg said, just contact Jeff. And I'm having a little bit of an issue with MetaStock opening. I know why, because I had it open on my other computer. And then we'll just go ahead and dive right into 19. Yeah, hang on just a moment.
Dave, do you need me to get somebody to run over to your desk and log it? Is it off at your desk?
It's already off. It's logged out because otherwise...
Well, this might be a good time to explain to people that when you have MetaStock, you can have it on any computer you want, but you can only have it on one computer at a time. And Dave was showing us, demonstrating what happens when you don't do that.
Yeah, I had forgotten to. I mean, yeah, you're right. It does bring up a good point. You can put it on 3 computers, but you can only have it running on 1 at a time. So just so everyone knows how that all works as far as MetaStock goes. I'm just waiting for it to open up. Okay. Yep, I'm online now. So that was the issue. I had to hard close all my background process.
That was because that was all because I told you earlier in the presentation, good luck instead of break a leg. I should have said break a leg first.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
It's my fault. So. Oh, my bad. Hang on. Dave, you're doing great.
All right. So let's dive right into 19. First thing I like to point out here is I've opened up a couple charts. We're going to just show you the workflow really quick before I get too far deep into it. So for those that use MetaStock, or if you're new to MetaStock, this is your all interface for opening charts, running scans, setting up watch lists, running system tests, using our power tool with option scope. If you're an options trader, that's a very powerful tool there too. But for opening up charts, if you have your own set watch list, you can use those here, or you could just type in symbols like I had already done. I'm not going to type them in, but I'll type in one that I don't have open right now. I'll just type in GE, and I'm just going to use what I call my smart chart, which is the chart that I like to use the most. You'll see it's already there with the red green candles and my up and down volume for the day. either hit enter or click open chart, and it opens up GE. Now you'll notice here at the very top, you'll see that you have your charts open, but they're on a tab view like this. So I can quickly now, within MetaStock, let me just kind of give a little bit of a background. Before with MetaStock, you had different options of looking at your charts. So I could open it up like a cascade view and look through my charts that way and scroll through them like this. Or I could do side by side, I could do up and down, so on and so forth. So now with MetaStock, if I come over here on my chart styles, I can just click on, or sorry, my tile views, click on this far left, which is our tab view. And now it works like a web browser, like any web browser, Chrome or Internet Explorer, Edge, etc. What's really nice, and the part that I like a lot with this view, is I can scroll through each of these charts, and this is a new feature with MetaStock 19. I'm going to probably jump around a little bit because there is a lot to cover, but I really like to show this part for a few reasons, because it is just a lot cleaner look and view of accessing your charts, but also because you have the ability to scroll through them each individually very quickly. If you want to make notes or changes on each of them, it's very easy now to change expert advisors, time frames, so on and so forth. You know, if I want to change this from monthly to an hourly, I can do that. I want to change forward from monthly. That was by default. That's why it's on a monthly to daily. You know, and then you can just kind of keep going on. However you want to do that is up to you. So we'll change this one to a weekly. Anyway, you get the idea. So it's very easy to tap through each one of these individually. Now, what really is a very fun part of this is I can go into each of these charts or the entire program now, and I can move this over into another screen. So this was a big request and has been for a while, but it was really hard, or we weren't able to do this until we redesigned the container in MetaStock 18. So it's not a complete change, it's just a redo, or I guess a update to our graphics chart container. Anyway, so now I can actually pin my charts up here by using the tab view, or I could float these out to another window without having to stretch the MetaStock actual container onto another monitor. So this is very, very good for people that have multiple monitors. Maybe I've got, at my particular desk in my setup, I've got 3 monitors at my desk. I've got 2 monitors at home. On average, I hear anywhere from 3 to 4. 4 is kind of seems to be the average of the amount of monitors that you have. It works very well. Just as a side note, with the multi-monitor support now, 4K TVs and monitors are supported. Whereas before we had a little bit of issues, some quirky issues there, but now it's full supported with 4K monitors now too. But if I want to, just kind of quickly showing you, I can undock this chart now, and I can move this along here if I want to put it over somewhere. But I have a second monitor over here on the right side, so I could move over there if I wanted to as well. So now IBM isn't on that main monitor that I'm showing you. And I can move these along in different areas if I want to put them somewhere else. If I want to shrink them, I can, you know, however size I want to do, I can do that in here. It's, just kind of giving you an idea that I can move these around how I want. I don't have to keep them in the same format I've always had them in. I can float them on my main screen, or I can move them across different monitors. So it's just much easier to manage charts, especially the support of the multi-chart, multi-monitor support, which is really nice, and people are really liking this part. It's definitely a game changer for us to be able to do that. I'm going to come back and I can, if I want, I can just repin these or redock these charts back inside the program on my main screen. I can do that like this, or I can do it how I had it before. I can take this whole view and just drag it over here if I want. So kind of however you want to do that is up to you. So we'll just re-tab everything again. I don't even have to do that. I can just do this. And then then I can grab and re-tab it up there. So this is really nice too, because I'm a big Chrome user, and anybody that is or uses your websites quite a bit, I like the new version because it has an option now that I can tab through each of the chats by just clicking on my keyboard Control Tab, and it opens up a preview of my actual charts that I've got open, which one I want to go to. Now I can quickly just do Control Tab and go to each, do the next one, and you don't even see that window pop up that you saw there earlier, because I'm just doing a Control Tab really quickly. Or I can hold it down or click on that and hold down Control, and then I can go to which one I want. So I can do that one and hold down Control again. We'll go to Agilent, excuse me, or GE or whatever I want to look at. So that's an easier way to navigate through your individual charts as well. But again, you can go back to, you still have the ability to look at your charts in a tile view, or if you want to do cascade, or however you want to organize those, it's completely up to you. But the tab interface I really do like, because it's just a lot easier to make notes or to make changes, add experts, indicators, etc. And I can do all that just by tabbing through each one individually very quickly, make any changes I want, and move on to my next chart. So this was a huge thing inside of, or a huge request by customers, and I'm very, very happy to know that we finally were able to get this in, because we were able to redo the chart container, and not redo, but update the chart container. Now we have that ability to float this out. People are really liking this part of the new version of MetaStock. Just need to make one quick adjustment. I need to make sure I'm covering everything in my webinar. So I'm gonna move this over to a different screen, because I don't want to stay in MetaStock or in my PowerPoint. I'd rather just talk to you about everything. So, oh, and then the other thing too, what I really like is, I'm more of a black theme person, but if you want to go into white, you just come over here where it says theme on the menu, and you'll click on MetaStock Light. It'll ask you, it has to restart in order for that to take effect. So you say yes. Will come up and maybe ask me to excuse me, save my charts, but because it has that ability now in my team to just remember everything that I had open, if I so choose to, then it just automatically restarts and opens up now in my light themed environment. And it takes it a moment, but you can see now the whole container is now in white themed. It is now, like I said, it's all in white theme now. You can still change the colors of your charts and things like that. That part hasn't changed. As you can see, these are all still dark charts, but because I didn't bring my glasses today, I'm gonna actually switch back over to my dark theme, which is what I prefer. Just is a little better on my eyes. As you notice, it wasn't a very fast restart, very slow restart. And this is also while I'm sharing and doing this live presentation. So you can see it is very quickly as far as the restart of the theme. And it's just part of the ability to change it over to that, because MetaStock isn't web-based, it's still a desktop application. So it does need to do that in order for it to register the dark or light theme. So now that we're back, that was a big thing that a lot of people wanted and had requested over the years. Now we were able to get this. I mean, this upgrade literally has, these requests have been in our, I guess you could say, our drawing board for quite some time. And it's nice because we were able to get it in. It's, you know, sometimes it feels like it's really not that big of a deal to put in the charting support. I'm floating the windows out of the container, but the fact of the matter is there's a lot more involved as far as programming goes, testing, etc., than anybody ever thought of, and me included, because I don't deal with the development side. So those are some really nice things inside. I really like. I actually, just some feedback. I did a few seminars last weekend and got some really good feedback from customers that came to learn more about 19 and MetaStock and see all of our new features. And we're very excited to see that just that part alone were reasons for people that why they wanted to upgrade. And that's just barely touching the surface. So we've got you can see a whole new container, a whole new modern look, instead of just a more crisp view or changing of the color palettes and templates and things like that. Now it does definitely look more like a web interface, and also it's a lot better modern look and feel of MetaStock. thoroughly. I love this new version. It's been amazing. So one other thing I'm gonna actually hop back over to my PowerPoint so I don't lose my place and where I need to be. So let's go back into that. And so we're gonna, like I said, we have the ability, it works like a browser. I talked about that. You can pin your charts, as you can kind of see the little animation here. You can tell when your chart is pinned by a little pin icon right there. You can drop an access charge. You can drag drop the ability. You can float charts outside container. We talked about that. You've got your horizontal and vertical groups. Now, what we mean by that is inside, let me hop back over to the program. And I need to change or close. I have another chart that's floating on my other monitor. I'm just going to go ahead and close that. So within the program, you have your different charting styles. Like I said, cascade, side by side, or vertical, horizontal. But now, when you have multiple charts open, sometimes they get a kind of a little scrunched, or if you're in this view or whatnot, you can't really see all of them at the same time. Well, we have these two, chart 1 and 2. So one of them will actually stick a lot of the charts on for horizontal and vertical. So this one will be the vertical. Excuse me. Actually, I need to open up one more chart. So give me just a second. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Let's just type in. What do I have open now? Okay. So let's open up a couple of indices. That'll probably be the easiest thing. Actually, I want to do custom. Okay. Hang on just a second. I just need to open a couple more charts. So, but I want to open up ones that. There we go. Let's do those two. So open up our charts, and then we're going to use this chart 1 template. So when I click on that, I just want to make sure that I've got it right. One more chart. Sorry, I just want to make sure that I show this properly. I think I have NVIDIA open, so let's just try there. I might actually already have it open, but let's just double check. Yes, I do. So I'm just gonna. Oh, I know I do this. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. So you can see you've got your tile view, same way as it has before, but down here now, because I have so many charts open, it actually organizes it a little better. So it's got 4 down here horizontally, and then vertically, and then it's got your all your other charts up here. But you can also do the horizontal side view right here on the right side. You can see where you've got these 4 right here, and then the other ones in more of a tile view. So it just makes it a little easier to read versus having everything in this view and a tile view. You got to click it, yeah. So however you want to look at it is completely up to you. I just did auto tile, so it's going to auto organize it how it feels the best look, which in this particular case is horizontal, but you can still do kind of however you want. So let me skip past that. We're good there. Just like to show the different modes that we have. Or sorry, views, I guess I should say. Okay, so the big thing inside MetaStock is layouts. Always the question I get, especially for new, current users, longtime users, is, okay, I want to create a template. So every chart that I open is going to open up this way. Perfect. How do I create that? Well, I also want to have one that has a multi-time frame template. And beforehand, it was a little bit difficult to manage this. So you had to come up here, do file, new, and then you had layout. You had to decide what charts you want to put in the layout. Now you can do it from all the charts that you already have open. The easier way is actually just opening up what we call a new instance of MetaStock. So I do the same operation, file new, but I'm going to choose layout. And what that will do is it'll open up a whole new window here, just like the main MetaStock window. But this is now going to be your layout. So I come over here, Power Console, open the charts for an Apple Amazon, and we'll just leave it that way. I'm gonna change this over to daily, open my chart. I'm just gonna keep working with the same chart style with the candlesticks, up, down, etc. I don't need to change anything as far as that goes. And then we'll just choose this. Oh. Okay, that's weird. Figure out the .o on here. Okay, so let's say I want to change these to a 10-minute. I want to do a hourly here. Then let's change this to a weekly. So I want to change this so I've got these 4 stocks in my layout. Now the difference between your template and your layout, if anybody doesn't know, is your layouts is going to be symbol specific. If you want to change and put experts on here, let's say we want to add Instatrend, and we'll change the template there. Close that off, and then we'll choose. I need to make sure I actually attach, close. Okay, so now that one has my Instatrend on here. Let's go over to this one and do adaptive momentum trend. So that's got all these on here now. If I want, I can apply an actual template, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. You know, everyone likes the MACD. We'll do actually the histogram one. And so, yeah. Anyway, so now I've got these on here. I've got some experts, and I've got different experts on each one, different symbols. I want to save this. So this is kind of sort of my watch list layout that I want to see. Perfect. So what we're going to do instead, like I said before, you do file, new, layout, add all the charts, file, save as, and it was really kind of a pain. Now all I have to do is file, save as, and as you can see before I actually go through this whole process, on the top right corner up here, you see layout 2. So what I can do is if I had all of these open or kept all of these open, I can switch between the different layouts and also my main window of MetaStock. So once this is saved, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I'm just going to do DD, and then I'll just do Wednesday 19. Okay. And I'm going to keep this format as a layout, and this is where I kind of wanted to get a little specific. So you have a layout, and then you have a layout template. Your template, you can do multi-charts on there or just one, and this will actually save it so you can apply this to each chart, any symbol you want, versus a layout is going to be symbol specific with experts and indicators that you want to have on the chart. A lot of our customers work with layouts. I do as well, and this is a big thing. It always was very hard to manage all of those. They could become corrupted sometimes because of the way that things were organized and managed. Now it's just so much easier to do all of this. So we'll keep the layout, the layout, the type as just layout, and then we'll say save. I've named it, or called it DD 19. And let's just say I want to close this out, and then I can come back to it anytime. And as you noticed, that didn't ask me to save it again, even after I had saved the layout. But if I want to come back to it or just open up that same instance of MetaStock, I can come back here on my main screen and choose the down arrow and come back and open up that layout. So it's like, okay, well, I meant to actually open up other chart or another layout. So let me hurry up and do that. I'm going to close all these charts so I don't make it slow down. So we'll just do main, change it to DD wet, and it will open up a new instance of MetaStock. And then I can actually take this layout and, excuse me, I actually did it. There we go. And then take this and float it over to another monitor. So this is, these are the stocks that I want on my other monitor, so I can watch these a little bit closer on all these different time frames. And then I can kind of bring it back and forth between the two. So I'm still on my main one. I can run my scans. I can run my back tests and things like that. Maybe I have another chart that I found, and possibly add that to my layout. However you want to do that is completely up to you. Now, the way templates work, it's the exact same way. This is also brings up a really good point too, because before, if you were working with layouts and templates and you opened up the same symbol, maybe you wanted to attach a different expert or different indicators to it. I couldn't do that. I had to close IBM in this case if I had that open already on my layout. So I'd have to close that layout, then open IBM, then apply my indicators and experts and things like that. Now I can have that open, float over it to another monitor if I have that ability, or I could just kind of minimize that one or have it look in the background. And the data still is going to update just like it would any chart that I have open. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this chart for IBM. Now I've already got some preset templates, so I don't need to go in and show you how to create it. But it works the same way. I'm just waiting for it to open. Oh, I had it over here because I switched everything over there. So now if I want to, okay, well, I don't want to use this template. I want to use, maybe I've purchased an add-on, or maybe I want to use the RMO system that's built in, or I want to use the adaptive indicators that are built into MetaStock now as well. So let's just go over here and choose the instant trend as an example. And just do the same thing, right click, apply template. It's going to apply it to this chart. At least I hope it's going to. Make sure that I did this right. I did have it open already. See, it brings up a good point that I already had it open. So let's change it right here. Do right click. Oh, it opened up a new chart. So I want to replace the existing, not open up a new chart. So that's why it didn't show up. So I'll do apply template, act, instant trend, double click, and it opens up instant trend in the same instance of MetaStock. So now I've got that in here. I've got it on a daily chart. I can apply this to any chart if I want to. I can create this and maybe add some extra indicators and save it the way I want to. So let's just type MACD in here. Histogram, I can apply that to my chart. Maybe I want to change the expert or add some more indicators in here. Maybe what they're doing, volume. I can plot that on my chart if I'd like. Just leave that. Merge it with scale. And now I can actually change everything on the chart itself. I actually want to take this off because I stuff on the scale. Anyway, you get the idea. You can apply these indicators and experts and everything like that to your charts. So you don't need to, it's kind of being fucking here. Anyway, you get the idea. There we go. So I can maybe plot it over here in its own window, and then we'll just click OK, add that to the chart. And this way I don't have to, I didn't put it over the price bars because I don't want to mess it up again. But yeah, like I said, you can change templates, you can save, I can create a new one. So if I just want to save this and make it my own, I can do File, Save As. And instead of layout, we're going to change it to template. So this will load all of my templates I've already saved here. So I'll just do this DD 219. And I'll click Save. Now that's my template. I can go and add that to any chart that I want. So let's say I want to open up Ford here, and instead of opening up the chart first, I can apply the template directly through the Power Console. Use my drop down, and I don't want to go through and search or look through all of them to find mine. So we'll just do DD. Here's what I did. Yep. So it's right here, DD 219. So it looks for everything in the Ds instead of having to go through all of them. Then we'll open up my chart for that symbol. And Ford opens up that way. So let me quickly go back over to my PowerPoint and make sure I'm covering everything I wanted to. So like I said, it's very easy. I already showed you how you can create new multi-chart templates. Simple process for creating and saving layouts. The process for opening up layouts is all the same. Just come up here, file, or you don't even have to do file. You just do the open chart. In my chart I created already is right here if I wanted to reapply it or reopen that. It's already open, so I don't need to do it again. The ease of use of changing between layouts that are already open or that you've previously opened, it'll save those as well. So I've got the WD19 open, but if I wanted to open one that, because this is our webinar machine, everybody has their own they've created as well. Kelly did one earlier. We have an auto layout web indices. That's a good one to open up if you want to look at like all the broad market indicators or all of the standard indexes. You can do that as well, and that is part that's actually really nice. So you've got your Dow, you've got your SPY, you've got your Qs, and everything like that. So that one actually has the wrong symbol on it, so we'll change that for whoever created it. And let's do O. Okay, so then we've got our SPY as well. I'm gonna reload the data because it looked like it kind of loaded funky. Oh, never mind. No, it's right. And then if you want to make any changes to those, you can do that right at the same time. You can resave the template by just clicking our save icon. So now that's all saved for that layout. So this is really, really powerful for customers that want to create their own so-called layouts, maybe your broad market, your main indices, your watch list, and you want to apply different indicators and experts. Just so many different things and reasons why a customer would create a layout, but it's just so much easier to manage. When in the past, and this is included with version 18, if I went to close my layout, first it would ask me to save any changes that I may have made, and it still does if I haven't already gone in and done file save as. But if I had Ford open on another layout and I had it on this area, then it would either ask me to save the layout, remove the chart that's already on there, and add the new one. And it just became very confusing, very, I don't want to use the word hard to, well, yeah, it was hard to manage. But the best descriptive word I can explain is it was just very cluttered in as far as opening up your different charts. And your charts were cluttered as well because you couldn't float these charts and layouts out of the main container, which now you can. And it was a lot harder to switch between different layouts. You didn't have the option to use this drop down and change layouts and templates to view those while you're on your current chart. So that part's really, really nice. I'm going to close my other layouts I had open. And then I can come back over here. And now I'm just back to my main screen. So now all I have open is just this one chart of Ford, and I've applied that template. So just a much easier way of managing everything through MetaStock now. That part is a huge addition to the program. It is one of the biggest reasons why everybody's upgrading. The other thing too, I already talked about this, where it restores your workspace. If you're doing something inside of MetaStock and you close the program and reopen it later for the next day, then it just automatically opens the way you had things that in the last time that you were using with it. I don't need to go through that. Oh, this part is actually really nice. This was something that I really wanted as well. So if I want to apply an indicator, usually I had to open up my drop down, scroll down the list. You know, if I want to do like M's, it would go to the M's, but I had to still scroll through each one. Now I can just look for which one I want. Well, okay, I want volume. And I want to apply that to my chart. Well, you've got volume right there. So let's say I want to do MACD. MACD's right there. Anything that's MACD related pops open. Let's say I want to do momentum. And right there, dynamic momentum. TS modified. So, oh, great. I want to do RSI. So I can do that. It's just a lot easier to go through the indicator quick list. Now I feel like it is a lot faster and quicker to actually apply the indicators to your charts. Same way of dragging and dropping them on your charts. Just drag, drop on the chart, apply the parameters or the properties that you want, and it applies that to the chart. If you notice, it kind of smart plots it, so it's going to plot it in its own window, or it will plot it over the price bars. However you want to organize that is up to you, but it will automatically put it in its own window the way that it sees the best view for you. You can change that if you want to as well. So that part's really cool. And then the same thing goes across the board with experts. So if I want to search for an expert, say I want to do PS, let's see, I want to do, where to go? Volatility analysis or volume trading. I want to add those experts. I want to do dynamic momentum. I want to do, what's the other one? Oh, let's say I want to do candlesticks. Yeah, they show up there, candlesticks. And this also goes for any add-ons that I have installed. Let's say I've purchased C. Bigelow's candle profit system. Type in CPS and it pulls up all of my experts for CPS. Same thing with the indicators, same thing with the exploration. So you come over here to the exploration window. A lot easier to manage and look for search for explorations. So you just come up here where you have the search exploration and ended up crashing it. Seems to happen that sometimes when I'm presenting. And let me just go back. Like I said, it's a lot easier to open and search for expert advisors, templates. If you have a lot of templates loaded, I think I've got close to 300 in my particular program. In this case, I was looking for explorations. I can run multiple explorations at a time, and I just want to run those and not have to go through my entire list. It's just so much easier and more intuitive to look and find what I want to see versus having just, I didn't want to really have to do that, but I did it anyway. Shows you what I had open before. So even though it did crash, it still comes back to my main workflow. I had another chart over here that was an IBM monthly. I'm going to close that out now. So I shouldn't have anything else open other than these charts. But let's go ahead and close these out as well. So we don't need to worry about anything else. I'll just have my one chart open. Perfect. Okay. So coming back to my Explorer, we'll click that, opens up my Power Console. I can look for MACD. I can look for, I want to look at, okay, I want to do my candlesticks one. And then I'll pull up my candlestick pattern exploration. Maybe I bought Steve Bigelow's candle profit system, or I want to look for the adaptive cycle toolkit scans. I can open those up and run my scans. And this goes for if I want to run multiple explorations. Very popular exploration in MetaStock is our RMO system. And I'll touch on this a little bit, but a lot of the times people wanted to run your RMO blue bar color and then look for any buy arrows. So let's run both of those. We'll run our blue color first and then our buy arrow. I'll just run a short list. I don't want to do a very long list at all, but we'll just run these ones. I will do indices. I'm not going to open up charts. Oh, actually I will, because I want to show you how that looks. Because we did add the ability inside MetaStock. Now, when you get your reports, before, if you wanted to set it so that's your default to look at each of those charts, because you can double click to open the charts from the Explorer window. But now, sorry, let me grab some water there. Now you can actually scroll through the reports without going and creating a new list, applying that as your template. Now it's just there and the ability to scroll through each of your charts individually without having to create a new list. So these ones all gave me some buy signals, a new blue bar. So we'll just go to the top one. And the first one, I've got to change my template. So I'm going to minimize this right here. And we're going to apply the RMO. I'm going to apply one of the new templates of the RMO. We'll do the binary bull. And we'll do that one. And I'll go into an explanation about this in a little bit, because these are additions to the RMO. I'm actually going to change these to candles. It's my own personal preference, but you can change it however you want. Okay. So then I can come down here and change this. So every chart changes this way. I'm going to come down here, use chart as template. I'm going to keep all line studies, change all charts if I want to, but I'm not in a layout. But now, so I can come back to my Explorer exploration results, and I can double click, and it should, or actually I did this wrong. And just a second. Options. Okay. That should actually do it. Had it working earlier, so let me double check something. I think I have it set as a smart chart. Oh, I think I know what to do. Hang on. Just grab one of the other ones. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing this wrong. So once I do this, I can actually just come down here and click on the right arrow, and then I'll do the next instrument in my Explorer list, not from a list that I was previously working with. So I can just confirm that this was BWA. I've got BWA up here, so I've got the right list that I'm working with. Now I can just minimize this and scroll through each of those individually. Okay, well, this one gave me a signal. I'm in a bear zone on that one. I can just quickly go through and double check. Maybe I'm just using indicators or whatnot. So you can scroll through each of your exploration results list now by just changing the chart template and then do next, next, next. The way I did it wasn't the way you do it. You actually just apply the template, have it on there, and then click next, 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 and it keeps everything in here the way that I had it before. So different way that I did it, but you get the idea that I just have to open the chart for what I scanned for, if it's got a template or whatever you want to do. And then the next chart that you open by clicking the right arrow will open that as well. Okay, and that's kind of jumping a little bit forward, but there's just so much in 19 to get through everything. So I'll show you the full list of the indicators. They're now all alphabetical. Now you don't have to go through an entire list to get to the ones that aren't hard-coded into MetaStock. So before you had to scroll all the way down and then the list would kind of restart after the ones that were hard-coded. Now it's all alphabetized by your list, and the search option is much easier to go through versus what you had before in version 18 and prior. So did all that. New indicator editor. So this part I'm not going to be very good at showing you, but the animation kind of shows you a little bit easier. So the way that what this did is it showed you the identification of errors a little easier in the syntax. So let's say I want to edit MACD. So we'll come over here to function. Let's just do volume. And I don't remember if this is password protected. Yeah, so that's not going to work. Okay, perfect. So this is the MACD Dima Smooth. So if I came in here and added, okay, well, I want to add another line in here and say C, and then it color codes it by the specified, how do I put this, condition that you're wanting to put in. If you make a mistake on here, let's just say I make a mistake and say 5 MOV. Oops. And then I want to go and click OK and close that. Well, I've actually made a mistake in here, and it'll tell me exactly where my mistake is. This mistake was on line C, and it was telling me that I need to add a and or, and then my operation that I wanted to use. So arrow line 6, operation expected, use these operations and or. So before, I just put your cursor where the mistake was, but you had to figure out what it was. So in this case, I did a very generic example. So if you were writing a small code or whatever, then it's going to tell you where on line 6 the error was, or whatever it is that you're creating. Just like to give that example. So it makes it a little easier for people that are creating their own formulas, writing their own code for indicators, explorations, etc. A lot easier to identify those errors. That was not a complaint, but something that people that make their own formulas and programming make it easier for them to write their own code. So new indicator editor toolbar changes. You can actually make your toolbar large. So if you're like me, you don't have very good eyes. You can just come over here to options. Actually, sorry, excuse me. You can go over here, right click on your toolbar area and do customize toolbar properties. Oops, the wrong one. Right click, customize. We'll do commands, options, and we will change the icons to large. And then I click close. So now all of these, in case you need glasses like me, or you just want them larger, then you have those in there now as well. We can go back what we had before. Oh, excuse me, that's the chart. So we can just back tools and we get right click, and then we'll do custom toolbar properties. I keep hitting the wrong one, I'm sorry. Customize, then options, and then we'll uncheck that and close. Now I've got those back the way I want them. But you know, during the webinar, it might actually be easier just to show the large commands. Okay, cool. So so that's something that we've changed. Another one that was actually really cool, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit here. Let me just make sure I don't jump too far ahead. Okay, so the large icons, you actually can turn on and off the tip in here if you want to as well, where I was. So right click, again, customize options, and I can show the screen tips on the toolbars or the shortcut keys on the screens. If I want to change anything in the commands and assign those. Toolbars, I can say I don't care about the trend lines. I want to take off the standard ones and uncheck them right here. A lot easier than it was before. I can also come in here and create my own new rule too if I wanted to, or I could delete one of them or whatnot. So just close that. The ability to do all of that. Another one inside of the those are our toolbar changes. I talked about the expert advisor search. The expert commentary is one of my favorites. So I don't know how I lived without it, really, to be honest. So let's apply a template that everybody probably is very familiar with. We'll go to just the RMO with candles. It's already in there. Great. And then let's make this a tab view so it's a little bit easier for me to show everybody this. So here's our RMO with candles. Now, for those that use experts, you all know that you can apply a commentary window, which is something I reuse every day. By doing that, I'm going to go ahead and right click on my chart, expert advisor, commentary, and I'm going to actually show you how this works. So I'm going to drag this out. So before, the commentary window had its own, a mind of its own. Let's say that. If I didn't have it like this and I floated it in a different area, what would happen is it would attach itself automatically to the bottom of my chart. I didn't want it there. Let's say it would do this type thing. It's like, oh gosh, how do I get this? This is so annoying. Now we can float this around anywhere we want, but we actually have to manually make sure that it's in the spot we want. So I have to go over here and kind of drag it in that area, or if I want to do it on the right side or the left side. I like it mine on the left side. But on top of that, this is the part that I really like, because depending on the size of your monitor, and sometimes with my laptops, they'd be kind of small, especially the one I have at home. I want to hide this. I still want to see it, but sometimes what I would do, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to float this over to another monitor. That part I could always do. But now I can right click on the title bar area here where it says commentary window. I'll click auto hide. And now it's on this left side still, but I can just click on it and see my commentary, read about where I am on that trade, and then click over here and back over to the chart. And then I can just quickly click on it again, click back on the chart, or just navigate away from it and it'll collapse it and auto hide. Same thing goes with the data window. If you're a big data window person, that is the same scenario. The data window is actually right here. So let me move that chart. Okay. I was doing a seminar over the weekend, so I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to auto hide it. So now I've got both the data window and the commentary attached to my chart, but I don't have them on one side and the other side and so on and so forth. So it's just so much easier to manage all of those when I put that chart back on. So I could use the data window, I could use the commentary window by just auto hiding it. It's one of my favorite features inside MetaStock 19. Now I may want to change this to a minute. And then again, coming back, just clicking on it. It says error didn't return function because I didn't load a lot of data on here. Otherwise, it'd be fine. So that is something, like I said, one of my favorite. You can open it and then on each chart per layout, per template, etc. That brings up a really good point, because let's say I had all these on RMO, or let's say I apply the MACD to this. Just easily, I don't need to go and choose those. Okay, so now the MACD is on here. You notice on this side, now that I've changed charts, I don't have to make sure that I change this specifically, clicking on the commentary window, making sure that it's on the MACD expert. I just come right back over here. I'm on the chart that has the MACD. It hasn't made it, so I'm still looking at the RMO commentary. It's just right here. You can scroll through each chart individually and do the same exact thing. Okay, well, I moved over to this one. Now it's on the RMO again. So much easier, so much more intuitive. A great addition to MetaStock. Part I love inside version 19. And like it shows here, we can float it across. Data window enhancements. You can dock it. It's more responsive, more reliable. Same thing, like I said, you can float it, you can dock it, you can put it in auto hide mode, and it's open and available for every chart that you've got open. And you can data window matches your theme that you have MetaStock in, and it can be used on each chart individually. Like, let's move back over to Elliott. Here's my data window for that. Okay, well, let's check it out. So I'm gonna pop it out and move my chart or my cursor around so I can see that. So this brings up a really good point that I wanted to show. So let's actually do this. I'm gonna change my chart layout to a tile view. This was something that was requested for quite a while, just to make it a lot easier for everybody to read their prices for all of their charts that they have open, no matter what time frame. So I've got a multi-time frame on here. I've got a daily. I'm going to actually change this one to a weekly. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on the crosshair view. And we'll go ahead and collapse that. So now, as you can see, with my crosshairs, it drags it across all of my charts wherever I am. So I don't have to be in a specific area. It'll actually show all of my charts, all of them in the way that I want to see them. Let's actually use this. It'll be easier. Same thing. It shows me all of my data points on all of the charts that I've got. I don't have to click here and make sure I'm in that right data point, or click over here, or click over here, or click here, so on and so forth. Move them up and down, it'll show me all of them in this price, or in this view. If I have just a few charts, let's actually close this one out. We'll do this. There we go. I can close all of them. I could have it in the middle. I can do it on the side, and it'll show me all of the data points for all the indicators and also the price as well. So this was something that a lot of people have been asking for. This is a really nice feature. I really like this as well. So that can, again, a great addition to it. So this last part's really, the next part's really quick. I'm not going to go through it a ton because I've got just a little bit of time left. So just improving the theme container with quote center and option scope. So our last part inside MetaStock, not a lot of people, ones that I talk to, don't use this a lot, which they definitely should. So that's all closed. So now we'll go back to my Power Console. I'm going to come down here to option. Actually, let's just do quote center. So let's open up. Oh, I want to open up something that's doesn't have a lot. So actually, I'm just gonna do my own. Okay. So we're gonna open up our quote center just with those. I can add to it from here. But what you've got up here now, these ones are all actually down. So it doesn't kind of show you the exact thing that I wanted. So I'm actually gonna close this first. Okay, so let's actually use this, but we're not gonna use everything. So we'll just open up those ones. I'm sorry, the list. And inside the quote center, it matches the theme of MetaStock. It's got here at the top, you've got your gainers and losers. So you can see how many gainers and losers you have. 40 gainers, 53 losers. And then their percentages. And then if you want to actually hover over it, it actually spells it out. these are my losers, these are my gainers. It's, again, matching the theme of it. I want to make sure I'm covering all the details in here. Like I said, new gainers and losers bar, you can actually go in and look for your instrument search. So over here on my quote center, I click on this to expand my settings. I can look at, I can click into instrument search if I want to. If I want to add instruments, if I want to change my columns, I can change that. If I want to see any data access errors, have any validation source, local path, if I want to add the date, I can do that. Yeah, so I can add to the list straight from here instead of opening up the Power Console and adding a new instrument that way. I don't know if I actually have it in here already, but let's add it. So yeah, added it in there. So we've got it now too. We can add a new list. I can access my previous lists if I want to. Come over here by managing list, and let's say let's do the NASDAQ and do that one and close. So just a lot easier way of managing your settings and lists in Quote Center. If you don't use this, I definitely would recommend it. This is a great way to look at your data very quickly. If you prefer doing charts, great, but this is a fast way of looking at your open, high, low, close volume. If you're an options trader, it's open interest. If you're on real time, then you can see your bid ask, net change, percent change on that day, the timestamp, etc. Great little program that's inside the software. I definitely recommend using that if you don't already. Option scope, same situation. Come over here to option scope. We're going to type in Apple. And here I can actually set up my filter. So if I want to do expirations today, next 30 days, strike price and filter. If you want to do 15, 5, 10, etc. You want to do monthly option or expiration type, a monthly option or weekly option, bi-weekly, etc. Click on open option scope, and then it'll filter through my my tabs that I want to see. And in option scope, it shows you all of your deltas, your implied volatility, open interest, net change. I'm in real time, so it's going to show me these different fields in real time. But I can also kind of do the same thing. This one shows me how many calls I've got, how many puts. I can so these are the top and bottom ones on my list. So, and then I can see both of them on the top as well. Okay, top volume, applied volatility, open interest, the volume. I can sort these if I want to. So just a new addition to match all of the themes, all of the settings inside MetaStock. You can come over here and change your settings if you want right here. You can say, okay, I want to see all the Greeks, or I want to change the way that I've got them set up. My columns, your filters, you can change the expiration dates. If you want to uncheck all these and have to restore them back, much easier way. You can go in and out of the money. Okay, just show me the ones that are in the money or out of the money or all at the money. So on. It's none now because we don't have any. So, okay. Just quick view, all of that is available inside MetaStock 19 now. Let me hop back over here, make sure that I'm covering everything. It shows you your Power Console updates. Oh, this was a big one that I like a lot. When I'm opening up charts, always it's not a complaint, but it was always a little bit confusing because when you first loaded MetaStock, it would have everything that you get access to. So because we provide both local or to US, Canada data and also international, whenever you opened up the program, you'd have just instrument 0 of however many. This had a little sideways triangle, but now it's an arrow. So if you just click on that, it expands everything out. Any custom list, or maybe you've downloaded data and you are a local data user, you expand those out and you can just go into those lists individually and expand those out just like you can inside of a Windows container. Very similar. Excuse me. And then you can go and check the list that you want to open. Maybe you run a list based on an add-on or a system that you've been using. It's just a lot easier to identify. It's very, how do we put it in our PowerPoint? Improved visual, and it's very a lot easier to read and identify where your lists are, how to expand these out or collapse them. And then again, just like now, instead of using the little triangle, Now you know exactly which list you're on, which ones you've expanded, so on and so forth. Already talked about the custom toolbar, and it's a lot easier to create your own custom toolbars now. You've got new icons that you can choose for people that like this inside the software. This is a great addition. I used to use this a lot, but because it was kind of a pain in the rear, I didn't ever use it. Now it's a lot easier to use. So I can come over here and choose custom toolbar. Oh, that's right. I have to have a chart open. Forget. I'm going to close the commentary window and the data window. Okay, so we'll just make this one. All right, so let's come back over here. We will do right click, toolbar, custom toolbar properties. So now I want to actually create my own. So I've got all these templates over here. We've got apply clean template, popular template, my RMO, momentum, so on and so forth. So let's go in and click on this new icon, or you can just choose Alt N. Let's choose that. Alt N. Oh, whoops, hit the wrong thing. Okay, so now I need to browse where I want what I want in that template. So let's choose. I'm just waiting for it to load. Let's just do, oh, I like the Act one, so we'll just do InstaTrend. Let's say open. I would need to change and open a new icon. So we'll use this icon now, and then we'll click OK. And before you had to do it a lot different. It took more steps than what I just did. And we'll choose OK as well. And change my crosshairs back. So now that I've done that, I'm going to make these. Oops. I'm going to change my properties because I can't see everything that I want to show you. And then we'll close that. So now I've got these down here. If I want to reapply this template, I just click on that and it changes my current chart. I don't have it set to replace it. So that opened up my InstaTrend template right there on the left side. If you don't use this and you use templates a lot, or even if you very seldomly use them, you can do it here. Sometimes I need to go back to a clean template and maybe rebuild my chart or build a new chart. Come over here and just choose the number 1 template. It changes it and opens up a new clean template, replaces this one that I have on here. So it's just a lot easier. Big request. A lot of people wanted to do or wanted the ability to draw their own Elliott waves and head and shoulder patterns. So we added all those here. I don't need to, I'll add this ABC Elliott wave. So we'll just go ahead and drag it on the chart. And got my A and B. I actually did it wrong because I wanted to show you the entire. So grab that. Let's redo that. So we'll do ABC. So here's my A, here's my B, and we'll do one last one for C. These are probably drawn different incorrectly, but we'll click on, no, look, we got them right. So you can draw these on the charts. You can use our already pre-built Elliott wave analysis in there as well. They've got head and shoulders. We've got the XAD CD patterns in there, and I'm forgetting the person that actually created those. And excuse me for forgetting that. I already talked about all of this. Yep, talked about all of that. And yeah, so we've got, where are these extra drawing tools? Okay, so just want to make sure I'm in the right area. Watermark. Oh. Oh, the drawing tool. So we've got a lot of requests of the ability to measure using a measurement tool, like a ruler. We wanted to make sure that you could use it based on the, I just want to make sure that I'm covering all my bases before I move on to the next topic. Okay, so let's open up, let's go back to my chart, and we are going to use our, take that off. we have our two icons over here on the left side. You've got a ruler for percentage and points. So I want to measure from this point down here, and it tells me from the 12/26/2023 down to 1/19/24 how many points that moved. So this one was negative or fell 1.8, 1.852 points. Or if I want to do a percentage, let's do that as well. We can drag and drop it, measure that. Okay, this one went up 18 points. And then you can, go in and like add more patterns if you want to add head and shoulders. I don't think I have actually, go ahead. So just go down here, left shoulder, right shoulder, head, and then one more. So, and let's do that one. You get the idea. So, the ability to draw those patterns on the charts is there now. You can measure your points or based on percentage of points. And then I'm not even going to be able to get through all of this. So let me go back. There's two more features in here that I really want to go through. So big request from a lot of people. Let me just make sure that I've got all this. Like I said, it's easier to read, pasting, customizing, and list dialog. So if you're adding in lists, let's say I want to add to my custom online data list, and I have a list. I want to right click and copy. So instead of it's gotten it, you've copied your list to your clipboard. And instead of having to right click and choose paste in this area, now you can just do paste and it'll paste all the symbols in there. Or you can do a search or whatever, and just like you did before, but it's just a lot easier to paste lists from an Excel sheet, a CSV file, a text file, what have you. A lot easier to do that as well. So I just bring that up quickly. You've got your themes to match all your applications, public list editor, custom lists. Most recently used file, and also the down arrow that I showed you already with the layouts up here on this right side. Main indices auto. I was using one called DD-WED for Wednesday 19. So let me go ahead and get a fresh chart open. We got forward up here. I'm gonna go ahead and click edit, delete all my line studies, say okay. Now I'm back to where I was. So now we're going to talk about one of our most requested things in the new version is volume by price. So volume by price is used to be seeing buying and selling interest in, at certain prices. So you can see your up and down volumes in the market at that point in time. So just like it says right here, it shows your volume at specific price levels, shows your negative and positive price volume at that level. Positive and negative volume is calculated based on the close to close of the chart. So just a really quick example, I'm going to have to kind of run through these last few features because I'm running out of time. So on the chart itself, you can see your positive volume, your negative volume, and if you hover over any of those volume by price indicator on the chart, it'll pop up and show you, okay, this is volume by price, zone 12, and then it'll tell you the price zone from close to close, the positive volume, the negative volume, and then total overall. So let's go ahead and apply that to the chart. So I just type in volume, and I've got right down here, I click volume by price, drag and drop it on the chart. Now right here is where I can change my color styles if I want, or I can change my parameters. You can do 12 price zones. Let's add another price zone if I want to use all the data I've got uploaded on the chart, which is a significant amount. Maybe I just want to do the last year using daily data. Oops. Okay, maybe I should learn how to type. Okay, now we're going to click OK on the chart, and I can change the parameters back if I want to. But now I've got 15 price zones. Volume at price, I'm looking at the positive versus the negative volume on each price zone. This is taking all the data that I'm loading which is the last 250 periods on a daily chart. That's about a year. And like it showed on the PowerPoint, I can see my volume positive and negative. So my positive on this zone, which is my 6 zone, on this zone is 12.9 to 13.1 is my zone, and the change from close to close. Then I've got positive volume of 22.4 million and negative 304 million, a total of 528.3 million. Same thing goes for Ethereum. You can just hover your mouse over there. If you want to change anything on the parameters, just double click it, like any indicator in MetaStock. I can change my color style if I want to change the default to a little bit darker green, or if I want to put it up here and change it that way, we can do all of that inside the software. So pretty easy, straightforward. If anybody that uses volume by price, it's a great indicator to look at those up and down volumes, very positive and negative volumes. And it, like I said, it does measure based on close to close. You can see where the lowest volume, the highest volume price is. You can use this with any other indicators. The target for the price is based on zone levels, meaning return to mean. You can use it as a standalone to see, use it as a standalone to see where the most volume is on a positive and negative. You can add more or less zones, levels based on your preference. Like I showed you, I did 25, but if you want to do 30, add that in there and click OK, and it adds another price zone, 5 more price zones. However you want to do that is specifically up to you. You can use the specific look back period. That was the part where I chose the user defined or all data that I have opened on the chart. I just did user defined. So in a nutshell, that's volume by price. The other one that we have is a new charting style. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on the bars here. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and remove volume by price. Just click on that once and then hit delete on my keyboard. Double click on your bars. Make sure I did this right. There we go. Okay, so now we've got just like before, we've got your candlesticks, Equivolume, Hikinashi. For those of you that may have an older version than 18, that's in there. And now we have range bars and range candles. Let's do bars. So that's actually been something a lot of people have been asking for as well. So your range bars or your range candles, whichever the type of trader price style you like, you do bar candles. Over here to parameters. This is based and calculating it off of the ATR. I'm just going to read this. I would prefer to do it that way versus messing up the definition. So here's a definition or example I was just about to show you of range bars and candles. So the way these work is every range bar on the chart is the same height. So it really depends on the activity in the market that day. It could paint 5 new bars or candles on the chart, or it could just be 1. It really depends on how much activity and volatility is in the market. So the distance or range between the high and low is the same for every bar. Units, time, hours, days, weeks, it doesn't matter. It's not based on periods it's not based on the time. It's based on the range between each bar, between the high and the low. Like I was saying earlier, a slow market could take several days, or maybe you only have 1 bar during that day, or you may have fast. So if you're a Forex trader or a futures trader, you're probably going to see a lot more bars on the chart versus somebody like myself. I'm trading ETFs, more of kind of in a longer term type setting, swing trading, pattern trader type situation. So I'm not going to see a lot of bars that'll appear on my chart versus somebody else that looks for a lot of those ranges. And this is really used to look at the close of the underlying data. Anyway, so let me give you this definition. Range bars only use the close. So we don't use the open, high, low, close volume like all other bars or price styles do. They will expand up or down with the price action. When the height equals the specific range, the current bar will close at the high or low depending on the direction of the move. New range bar opens with the value and underlying close trigger change. So just like here, easy way of just showing this. I am running out of a little time, and I wanted to touch on the RMO additions because that's a big one that a lot of people have been asking for. So we've got ATRs that are, you can set your own range. You can look here at my screenshots. You've got your start time or start date, your end. It goes through and calculates the open, high, low, close, even though it is only calculated by the high and the close. Total volume and the range size. So if I were to plot an ATR on here, or sorry, that's the ATR calculation. This is that's not the actual using the range bar. So it'll show you open, high, low, close. You can see that each one is almost identical, but it's only using the high and the close versus the others. It's not using the open, the low, or the volume itself. But the range size, so each bar is 5, has to move 5 points, or however you want to word that. Each one moves 5 points of the range with Tesla, because it's calculating using the ATRs in there. So just an easier way of identifying inside of MetaStock. So I'm going to go in and choose my range bar. I'll choose OK. So you can see that each bar is calculated the exact same, or sorry, is the same size. Interesting, we had a little gap up right there, but you can see each one is the same size right here. So each point on this particular one, my range size is 0.35. If I apply an ATR in here, it'll have the same calculation. I want to test it just to make sure I'm doing this right. So we're going to use our average true range. We'll stick it up there, do my 14 periods. And if I hover my mouse, 0.35, 0.35. So it matches my ATR. So you're just looking for that volatility in the market. And it's a great way to look for the range in the market. This is a big thing that a lot of people use. I don't use this in my trading, but I like to show this as a new feature because it was highly requested. Back to my PowerPoint. Let's make sure I did cover as much as I had time for. We talked about the global cursor, cross all open charts, time frames. You can toggle that on and off. I need to go through this. Oh, watermark. So you've probably noticed on my charts right here where you can see forward and what symbol I'm on or whatnot. So let's say you don't want to see that. All I have to do is do tools, options, tools, options, go over here to chart options, and we are going to display watermark, uncheck that, and now OK, and it has removed the watermark. Same way of re-adding it, tools, options, chart options, display watermark, OK. That was something a lot of people really wanted to see what symbol they're on, so we added that in there. I'm really not going to be able to get into this, but I'll cover it really quickly. So you learn as you plot was another thing. Let me change these back to bars. So you hold down Control, and then oops, it's holding down Control Alt. Oh. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So if you hold down Control and choose my right or left arrow, it's learn as you plot. You can see on the right side, you can kind of act like that's where the market is and see how your calculations of your indicators, your trades would have done. Maybe just an easy manual type back testing way of looking at your chart. That was something a lot of people wanted. We had this before, but it wasn't really it didn't work that great. That's a lot better. So you can move that backwards and forwards. Another big one that we added and improved in MetaStock, it was already in version 18, is Don Fishback's odds probability cone. Its transparency will remain set and toggle between different colors. It mirrors the x-axis and the visibility. So very quickly on this, it's right up. Gotta make sure I've got that plotted. Here it is on the right side. So over here, I just go ahead and click on this. Here, let me do this. I click on this icon here, odds probability cone, drag it and put it wherever I want. And if I want to go in and change the settings, we can change the color and style if we want. Let's change the actual cone to red. Maybe we want to change it to this and change that. It has its transparency stays the same. So this part is more transparent versus this one being more solid. So I don't have to make sure that I've got the two different colors, but I can change it from the historical volatility. If I want to use specific volatility percentage, I can do that. Change my end and start dates, my drift. so on and so forth. People that are options traders and follow Don's methods, he uses this a lot, and we are the only software that has this and the ability to make these types of settings. So that's something that our customers who follow his, and we've always wanted to have this in the software as a drawing tool. So now we've got that in there. We've had that in since version 18, but it's quickly running through the rest. You have the text editor dialog box for easier reviewing and editing the chart. So just so you know real quickly what that is, I can come over here and say I want to add, I would have bought here. Oops. Or if I want to say here, sold here, what have you. So you can double click on these and make changes if you want to make the color style larger, if you want to make the font, or let's say you want to make it a little bit bolder, frame fill, text size, however you want to do that. So I want to change the font to that. And then it changes to however you want. So that's built in there too. It's a little easier for that. New drawing tools, already talked about that. Measuring tools for points and percentage. Got your head, shoulders, XABDC patterns, Elliott waves. Okay, so I'm going to quickly touch on this, and then I will finish the rest of the presentation. So inside of the program, we have our powerful, and everybody knows pretty much, the RMO system. So if you right click, choose apply template, made it so everything started with RMO for templates. Experts are the same way. So if we come up here to our expert advisor and type in RMO, it shows everything. Whereas an expert exploration, still the same expert, but in your explorations, you had before different tiles for each one. You'd like swing trade through, new blue bar. Well, now we organize it so it's just RMO. So a little easier to find. Like I said earlier, if you want to scan on multiple explorations, you can do it here. I don't need to do it again. You saw how that works with the exploration results. But really the part we put a call in, or my manager, Jeff, he put a call into Rahul, and we wanted to make some additions to the all popular RMO that's built into MetaStock. So we made 5 extra templates. And since MetaStock 18 had an update to the container, we could shade between indicators and things like that. So let me quickly run through those. As you see here, you've got your RMO explorations. You've got 5, okay, I was right, 5 new templates: binary bull, binary bear, binary bull bear, pro mode, and model shaded. So let's look at the pro mode. I don't think I've actually looked at this one, so it'll be learning for all of us. Again, we're on okay, this makes sense. So just like the RMO, you've got your ribbon down here for the expert. You've got let's apply the expert really fast. Oh, excuse me. Commentary window is what I want, not the expert. All right. So I've got my commentary floating just like I did before, so I can click on that if I want to. So apply where I need it. Sorry, where I want it. So you can see on the excuse me, on the chart here, it just looks exactly like the RMO. That you can see here on the pro mode, so I can see where the RMO is above and below bullish, or the 0 line. So here's my 0 line. These are above, these are our binary pro buy, sell, or sorry, these are all buys, and then here's my sell. So these are calculated the same way. It's just a different view of seeing them in the chart, and it just makes it a little more easier for everybody to read. A lot of times when we were using the swing trade 2 and 3 for the buy and the sells confirmation, you couldn't tell, okay, is that above or below 0? Is that one crossing above or below? This is just a little easier way to understand and view that. So let's go over here to this one. This is my sell arrow. Here's my buy arrow. It's gone, it's above. It's actually got that little triangle there. We've shaded it in so you know how long it's been above the 0 line for RMO. If you want to go back to your classic view, you can still use that as well. So again, here you've got another buy signal. There's your sell. This is an addition to the RMO system that's already built into MetaStock, but we've added these extra templates. So let's go back down to, let's do our bull and bear pulse mode. No, we don't want to save changes. We're going to add this. And this is the exact same, not the exact same thing, but close to it. So same thing, when you're bullish or when you're bearish above the RMO, you can tell where you're above or below, but based on these colored, what we call step indicators or step style. But then you can see where the red bars are, where the blue bars are. So here, if you look at this, this is in a red bar area right here. Let's grab our vertical line. There we are. Okay. So right here, we're in a red zone. Right here, we're in a blue zone. You can see by the shading of the red. And up here, we've got the blue zone. And we also had a new blue bar. And so you've gotten your buy signal up here as well. You've been above on the RMO. You're above on, you're in a bullish area. Excuse me. And so that's just an easier way to, or a different way of looking at the RMO. Still the same standard system, the way it's calculated, but it's nice to see the actual view of the chart and each one individual on its own indicator. You can see, okay, well, this is a new blue bar. I'm in a bullish zone. You can see how it's filled, how it's right here. I'm above the RMO right here. On the flip side, I'm not above, or I'm not below the RMO. I'm not looking at an area or a bearish zone. I'm not in a bearish area of getting any signals. So just a quick view of those ones. And then you've got your shaded on here. So this is an update to that as well. Your pulse, you've got your greater than 0. You've got your new blue bar, sorry, by arrow, bullish area, and then bearish area as well on this. This is the bull pulse. So here's the bear pulse, it's basically the opposite. Bull bear that I just showed you, pro mode. You got your setup, your red spike, which is your new blue bar, or your downward spike, new red bar. So then there's a couple systems in here. I'm going to show this one, and then I'll just flip through the PowerPoints of the rest of them. So we added a new gap up and down system, written by our very own Kelly Clement, president of MetaStock. So let's add this real quick. So I'm going to do a clean chart. Come over here on my toolbar, click on the number 1. Changes that to my clean chart. I'm going to apply. I don't believe we created a template, but I want to double check to make sure. Yeah, we did. Okay, so this is an expert. Come over here to my expert advisor, click on the guy with the hat. And I want to do a search because that's part of MetaStock 19 now. Click on attach and close. I can change these chart styles if we want to. So I'm going to change these to candlesticks. I want to change these to blue. And then I will change the up, down to that, and we'll choose apply. And then we'll change these. Okay. All right. So with the gap identify expert that we built in here, so you can see on the chart. Let me zoom in just a bit here. Actually, probably it's easier if I just do this, and we'll just zoom in. So I've got my gap down here. I've got my gap up volume here. Now, if I want to scroll back a little bit for everybody, we've got, I believe I saw this on the chart. I want to make sure. Okay, so each time you get a gap up or down volume, you've got the signal that appears just right on the chart there for you. This also has its own commentary window. So if you have a gap up, yes, there's no gap down. Gap up with volume, yes. And then it goes into a definition and the significance of the difference of the gap. So a gap refers to significant difference or discontinuity in the price or trading range of a stock or any financial instrument. Between 2 consecutive trading sessions, it represents a break or gap in the price chart. It's really good for people that see as the market's opening, you get identify a gap. Here's a good one right here. You have gap volume up. Here's your gap down volume and gap up volume. You can go back over to our commentary and double check, see if you've got the correct setting or the correct information in the commentary. and decide whether you want to get in based on that gap. Same thing with each one. You can go in and change each one individually, go through each one individually if you want. Just another really good way of identifying gaps in the market. Just change this over here. Okay, so not really much to that, and I believe there's an exploration. Let me just double check and make sure. Almost sure. Yep. So the gap identifier, hover over that if you want to see the explanation. You can double click on it as well and see the explanation up here. Now the code is open. Not really that sophisticated for gap up and down, but it is a great addition to MetaStock 19. A lot of people are asking, well, how do I search for gap ups? How do I apply gaps to my chart? You know, it's a little bit tedious to identify. The code's right there. It's not too difficult to duplicate it and add to it if you want to, but we added that ability so you don't have to do the programming. We did it for you. So now we'll go in and run our exploration if we wanted to. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to quickly just show you how that works. I don't need to go through all the explorations of that. So anyway, so an added exploration for the gap up and down. Last part of the MetaStock, you've got a few of our great add-ons that we had. ETS was an add-on that we sold when probably around the time that I started, actually a little bit before then. I started with version 9, so about 19 years ago, like we said. The ETS is a great addition. We used to sell this for 300 to our customers, but now it's just built into the software. We will do ETS trading system. Let's do custom. Okay, so the ETS trading system, it's a great trend system. I'm going to change it to candles. I don't know why it bugs me, but it does. So you can see on the chart that you've got your ETS buy and sells. What the other thing I like to add to this is when you add all of the signals on the chart that it but the add-on came with just the ETS buy sell. What I like to see on my chart are the extra parts of the commentary window. So if you right click Expert Advisor, I'm actually going to go into my properties. You'll say cancel. But I want to see all of my symbols on the chart, not just my long and short entries. I'm going to choose check all, close. Oops. Yeah, check all, and then down here, click OK. So now let's refresh my chart and make sure my signals show up. And if I go into my commentary window, I can see in here, this is why I like the system. It's very simple, easy to follow, great trend system. Actually, I need to switch over. Sorry. All right, now we're on ETS. I didn't have this set up properly. I'm sorry. So you can see right now we didn't have any long positions. What I like about this one, let's grab a good one. So we had a ETS buy right here. One more. Perfect. So we've got our ETS buy. We're in a bullish. Enter long is what we are getting for the signal. And then we've got where our protective stops are, the initial profit target. Maybe if you're a little conservative like me, it's just as soon as I get my signal, I want to get out. And then here's my extended profit target too. So it's really nice because it has your short stop out, your long initial targets, your short stops out, your long stops out, exits. And then you have your ETS trend watch. When it's a intense trending area, then it's going to be a larger area. So this is your bullish ETS trend watch and your negative and positive. So that's all based on the volatility in the current market and how much that particular symbol is moving. So this one's got a lot more intense based on the volatility because there's a lot more movement going on. Same thing down here. These ones are kind of just sideways, not really that much movement. It's got a little bit down here, but it's just a good way of identifying the bullish and the bearish and the volatility and how much the stock is moving. It comes with a system test. It comes with experts, explorations to look for long and short entries. Just click on the Explorer really fast. And let's exit out of that one. And if I just type in yes. And then it shows enter long, short, and then we can make the changes as far as the custom in there. I'm not going to go into that. You can actually look at this in the manual or also talk to support, and they can show you how to use that a little more as far as the custom part. If you're not familiar with this or haven't ever played around with it when it was an add-on, you can just use your standard ones. Don't use the custom ones for right now until you learn a little more how to use them. There's not really much that you're changing. You're just going in and looking at the different, I can't remember what the custom is. You can just change the intensity of the trend watch is what that is. So, last thing that we added was so actually let me double check and make sure. So yeah, okay, so I was right. Shows like the volatility. When the market is going up or rising and red is declining, you're going to see the trend watch appear green. So it's just the up and the down representing the trend. And this is actually a really good trending indicator system. So we're glad that we were able to put that in there. It shows you the slopes of the moving average, so begin to angle upwards or downwards, and it illustrates that in the trend watch. So great little addition to MetaStock 19. The last one that we have is, I'm not going to go through these. I'm going to quickly go through the last one because I'm out of time. And you can, like I said, this is an all-around system. You've got explorations, you've got the system test, you've got the experts, templates that are built in there as well. So it's a really good system. When I was selling this, I sold this quite often for people that wanted a good trending system, and this is exactly what people would purchase. And almost all of them really liked it, depending on the market. Sometimes, but it was great for them to help them understand the trend, understand how this worked. It really not much to it. And it's a really, really good add-on. I liked it a lot. But so the last part, we actually used to sell this also separately in MetaStock, but the person by the name, his name is Robert Devon, he created another system that we have already in MetaStock 2 called Performance Systems Plus. Basically, we called him up and asked him, what is it going to take to put this in MetaStock? Because the Ichimoku has also been a popular indicator, but we really never had an expert to match it. Well, now we do. I'm just going to show you screenshots and how it works, and then I'm going to wrap things up because I'm going over the amount of time that I wanted to. So as you can see on the chart, first off, just I'll make a quick note here for those of you that don't have 18, is the Ichimoku now extends 26 periods into the future. Couldn't do that before. So in this particular add-on, it's nice because if you're not really that familiar with the Ichimoku, let's just plot it really fast. And we are going to kind of go through it really quick. Maybe I'm doing wrong. Maybe if I can type, that would always work. Okay, so let's try this again. Oh, I think I've already got it plotted. I know. Hang on. Let me close all my charts. Be part of the reason. Open this up, and we'll do open that chart up. Okay. So now I've got this, and I can drag and drop this Ichimoku on the chart. I'm trying to decide why it's not letting me. Oh, I think I know it. So let's actually just apply the template. I'm going to right-click, apply template, choose Ichimoku Advanced, and we are adding that to our chart. So you can see now I've got this applied to my chart. It's extending 26 period into the future. If you want to look at each individual settings, make sure I'm doing this right. No, that's not what I want. I want the indicator. Hang on just a second, guys. There we go. So now you can see all the individual parts of the armo. You've got the Teiken-sen, the Nikiju-sen, Siku-span, Chiku-span period, and the horizontal shift between them. This is all inclusive in the Ichimoku. Let's actually give you a quick background of it, included in the system. So Ichimoku was created, a person by the name of Ichimoku Seijin. What a man in the mountain season. I believe he was a rice trader, is how he first got his start to the Ichimoku. So, I already showed you what comes with it. You've got the Teiken Sen, the Keiju Sen, Siku Span, and Iku Span, and all based on your clothes. So the Ichimoku itself looks for the the positive or the negative on the Tiko Sen, and the highest 9-bar high or the lowest 9-bar low, and it divides that by 2. So you can look here on the chart. Maybe if I could use my mouse right, and apply that to the chart once you have it. You don't necessarily need to know everything about the Ichimoku indicator. I don't. Probably tell that I'm kind of fumbling a little bit here, but what's nice is this is a learning indicator for you, because if you're not too familiar with how this is calculated and how it works, you can come in and apply this, look at your commentary window and understand, okay, here are the values. These are the conditions why I would get into this as a buy or a long or short. So when it's above the Kumo or below the Kumo, that's when I would get into the trade. So you've got your cloud that's going above your price chart when it's above the Kumo right here. This would be an area where you would enter into the trade, or when it's below, you would do a short entry, or maybe you want to use that as your exit as well. So there's a lot more into it. We've got some really good videos on this. Obviously, like I said, I'm not going to be able to go through each individual, but it's really cool with this is it goes into each part of the indicator, which is really nice. You've got your actual signal, the Teiken Kenjin cross signal. If it's above or below the current Kumo, the direction, as we state here, a little note, may not be visible on the chart. Anyway, so it's a great learning part of the software. You have the stop exits after you get into the entry, your periods, your values, and it's just a really, really good. Oh, these are the current settings as well. Really good way to understand it. I need to spend a little more time with it myself, so that's a great addition to the software. I think that is everything that I've got. So I can send you these slides if you'd like. It's a good way to understand this as well. Spend more time with it as well. Anyway, so you got the expert. It actually has a great back testing included with 19. It's got all of the indicators, experts, and also system tests built into there as well. Really, really fast. We added another part in MetaStock by our partner, Jake Bernstein. We added an expansion contraction indicator that looks for divergences, long and short trades. You can see here by the colors in the charts. It's got he uses a Williams percent accumulation distribution area, but he also uses his very famous method and powerful method based on the MACD and his moving average. So it's a free template that's already built into MetaStock. You don't have to pay extra for it. But MetaStock, with MetaStock 19, we released our new add-on called the JVXC Complete add-on. And that actually gives you the ability to system test, scanning, that gives you the expert. So let me show you really fast. So when I right click on my chart, apply template, I will choose JVXC, excuse me. The one that's built into it is this one. So you can see where it identifies when it's above and below the expansion or contraction. So here you're above, below, here you're above. And this also looks for divergences, support, and resistance on the chart itself. You can see on the actual chart, it's looking at let me go back to my PowerPoint so I don't mess this up. So it looks for the 8 period and the 10 period SMA of the high. This is called his MACD channel. I was created by a person's name, Brian Lotta. I believe it's his partner. But what the addition adds when you purchase the add-on, right click, apply template, JVXC, and we're going to do complete. Double click on that, and now it's going to add the symbols on the chart themselves. You can see these little S, the diamonds. So you've got your large Bs on the chart, which is your strong buy, your diamonds, which is a continuation of the trend. I'm going to pop up my commentary window here. So you've got your take profit for your long position. Prices broke above the 3 ATR Keltner band, and it kind of goes into the explanation of the trade itself. So this is a long-term bullish trend. The trend is very strong. You've got an upswing. The range is in the expansion area on the expansion contraption. You've got a short-term breakout, the resistance, your support, your overbought, oversold. It's just a really good add-on, all a complete system with scanning, back testing. I definitely recommend giving it a try. It does have a 30-day money-back guarantee, but for those of you that either you've already upgraded to 19 and want to try that out and purchase it, it's $4.99, normally $5.99. For those that purchase the upgrade, I recommend getting this along with it. Again, it's a $4.99 with the upgrade. For those of you who are still along to that price that have not purchased it with your upgrade, you can test that out and use it with your trading and see how that does for you. But it's a really good add-on. People are really enjoying this as well. If you're a Jake Bernstein fan, it's a no-brainer. It's a great system. It backtests really well. Took a little example here. So like I said, he uses the Williams accumulation distribution add-on, or indicator, expansion contraption, and then it's just really fast. This compares the two price points, high and the low, or up and down through the moving average channel. MACD settings since extraction contraption measures every period in the chart setting. Here's just an easy view of this, where you're bullish, where you're bearish, where you're above on the expansion and contraction areas. So we covered a lot. New improved charting workflows, layouts, workflows, new theme, container, modern look and feel, the new drawing tools and charts and trading systems. So for those of you that have MetaStock 18, it is a very low cost. If you're end of day, then it's only $179. Real time is $279. Anybody that is 18 and or 17 and earlier, definitely call me, because then I can go through what your price would be, and then talk about more options. Maybe there's something specific I may not have covered that you're wondering if we included in here. Along with your upgrade, you get our Unleashed Power of MetaStock that we wrote and created videos for. It took us a lot of time to make sure it was as perfect as we possibly could get it. Let's put it that way. And yeah, so it's definitely a good, helpful tool to get you going with the new features. Put the price in here, but definitely just give me a call and I can go through that as well. So here's my contact information again. You actually need to change that to this one. There we go. So my name is Dave Derricott, David Derricott. You can contact me in these methods by email, phone, chat with me, ask for David Derricott in chat, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions. I know this was a rush. There was a lot I covered. Instead of an hour, it was 2 hours. So I hope everybody, yeah, if you don't have 19, give me a call and we can go through getting you upgraded, talk to you, need to make any changes to your account, or need to talk to me about the new version, have questions, whatnot, give me a ring. I'll be more than happy to help you. And with that, I'm going to close and say, please let me know if you need to upgrade or want to upgrade. I definitely recommend it. You're going to love this new version. We all love it here in the office. All of my customers are liking it a lot. I've got nothing but great feedback from it, from partners, from my customers, from other reps' customers. It's a great addition to MetaStock. It really is a game changer. So yeah, appreciate your time, taking the time to watch this. I know it went a lot longer than I wanted it to, but there is so much to cover in that. And I will hope to hear from you soon.
Hi, Kelly Clement here from MetaStock. Before you go, I have 2 quick things for you. 1, thanks for joining us today. We love having you here at our webinars and viewing our videos. So what I'd like to invite you to do before you go is like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a great deal, and it helps us bring you more awesome content like today's video. The second thing is we have a great ebook on trading that you can get for free. If you go to metastock.com/YouTube book, you can get a free copy of The Secrets of Successful Traders. It's a great book with lots of content from traders just like yourself who can teach you some of the secrets that they have learned. Thanks for taking a second with me and learning about those 2 things. Thanks for joining us, and keep on trading.